Well, here we are trying to get out of Anchorage, heading north on a pretty epic mission here. And this just happens to be the 25th anniversary of Jon Krakauer's book, Into the Wild. I'm pretty stoked about this trip, you guys. I've been wanting to go out in this direction since I've moved up here.
Consumers, Brian Curtis and David Shoemaker here. This is the press box.
The book in question is Into the Wild, which Jon Krakauer published this week 25 years ago. My, how time flies. And we're lucky enough, mostly thanks to Brian, to have Krakauer here to tell us just how writing the book came about.
Now, if you don't know Into the Wild, here's your 30-second primer. 1992, the body of a 24-year-old man named Christopher McCandless was found on a bus in the Alaskan wilderness. McCandless died of starvation. There weren't many clues to his identity other than a diary, a book by Tolstoy, an author he loved, and rolls of film that McCandless used to take pictures of himself.
Now, this book's 25 years old. When you and I were coming up, when we were hanging out, or in my case, working in bookstores in the 90s, it was impossible to avoid Into the Wild. Of course, it was then made into a movie that Sean Penn directed.
Christopher McCandless is somebody who vanished. He graduated from college in Atlanta. He got into his car. He drove away, and he never contacted his family again.
Well, here we are trying to get out of Anchorage, heading north on a pretty epic mission here. And this just happens to be the 25th anniversary of Jon Krakauer's book, Into the Wild, which talks about Christopher McCandless's adventure that we're gonna go not recreate or anything, but hopefully not. But yeah, just show you guys what's up with it. Yeah, so I've got about a 4.5 hour drive to Cantwell. I'm just gonna camp out in the mountains tonight and wake up in the morning and finish the drive north. That way you guys can see it. I'm pretty stoked about this trip, you guys. I've been wanting to go out in this direction since I've moved up here. Just always kind of captured my interest, but also don't want to be like the tourists that die in the summer trying to cross the river. So it's winter time, so I shouldn't have to worry about that, knock on wood. It just so happens that there's also a podcast that came out today interviewing Jon Krakauer, so this is pretty cool. Let's listen into it.
This is the only book I've ever enjoyed writing. I mean, I really mean that. It wasn't even so much the writing as the research. But man, Chris covered his tracks. His parents did not find out, and they tried really hard where he was or where he'd been. Took all his money out of his wallet, and he took a photo of himself burning it. He got rid of all his IDs. He took the plates off. He documented all this in photos. This is how we know this. He took the plates off the car and hid them. He buried a bunch of stuff in the desert. He had and then he set off on foot. I met people who had met him. They tended to be drifters and hobos, and every one of them was just blown away by him. They were just so moved by his presence and were so crushed by his death. And then he went to Alaska, and
So I want to ask you about that journal, because this is found on the bus with Chris's body.
when he was out of food, he'd talk about it. When he couldn't find berries, he'd talk about it. The animals he killed for food, I killed five squirrels, 3 ducks, So you could tell what he was eating. He took photographs of the seeds he gathered and the mushrooms and the animals he killed.
So lots of people read Into the Wild, and then they venture out into the wilderness to visit this bus that Chris McCandless lived on. In 2019, a hiker actually died at the river that McCandless was turned back by in the book. So last summer, the Alaska Army National Guard finally decides to move the bus to an undisclosed location.
They were doing 3 rescues a summer. 2 people ended up dying trying to get to the bus. In some sense, I reluctantly acknowledged flying the bus no one consulted with me, but I think it was a good thing. It was flown out of the bush. So a museum in Fairbanks has the bus now, and they're restoring it, protect it, and make it so people can go to the actual bus where he died and, you know, pay their respects or whatever. It's not the same, and I'm sure some people will go to the site where he died, and that's cool. It won't be the throngs, there won't be the Instagrammable bus there. So I think it was a good compromise for an unfortunate situation.
Jon Krakauer, thank you so much for coming on the Press Box.
And my pleasure.
He is David Shoemaker. I'm Brian Curtis. Production magic, as always, by Erica Cervantes. We're back Monday, David, with more lukewarm takes about the media. See you then, buddy.
Right on, boys.
See you later, Brian.
Man, here, you guys gotta check this out. And hopefully they're all right. No one's in here, but looks like the car is still on. There's no one here though, so I'm guessing it's all right. Pretty gnarly. Man, that's pretty crazy. I hope that person's okay, or those people, whoever was in that van. About 7 years ago, I have a friend named Jason that was driving the same highway up towards Fairbanks, and late at night in the dark, just like this, pitch black, and his car slid off the road and went down a big embankment, and about 70 feet down, his car came to a stop and it rolled, and for some reason Jason got his leg stuck in the door. It got pinched and he couldn't get out, and he was trapped. It was like, it was below zero. No one could see him because he was in the dark off down in the ditch out in the middle of nowhere. Jason stayed down in that ditch all night. No one found him, and the next day he was freezing to death. He knew he was going to die of hypothermia, so he took a lighter out of his pocket and lit his car on fire, just hoping that someone would see the burning car down the hill and come to his help. And the carpet caught on fire and dripped on his face and melted his face, and he wound up losing both of his legs. And he made it out alive somehow. The dude is an absolute trooper, but you gotta be careful out here, man. You gotta be prepared and be careful and be attentive. It's pitch black. It's about 9 o'clock. I'm in the middle of Broad Pass. It's some serious Alaskan looking terrain up in here. It's pretty cool. You guys will see it in the morning. Anyway, I'm just parked on the side of the highway, so I'm gonna set up my camp and call it a night. Yeah. The first thing I like to do every time I get in this camper is just see what moved around. Looks like the paper towels unrolled themselves again. The oven shifted a little, and the couch moved. Anyway, I'm going to get ready for bed, pass out. It's kind of cold in here. See you guys in the morning. Good morning. Looks like we got a little bit of a dusting of snow last night. So let's see if the truck starts. Knock on wood. If it doesn't start, I'm gonna have to get out the generator and warm up the block. So, normally what I'll do is cycle the glow plugs like 2 or 3 times. So, turn it off, back on again. Oh, it's cold. I don't know how cold it is, probably 10 degrees. And here's the moment of truth. There we go. Yeah, baby, 7.3. Get that heat going. Let it warm up, and I'm gonna put up the bed, and we're gonna go up to Stampede Road this morning and go check out the Into the Wild bus, which is no longer there, but we're gonna go check out the area. We've been up here 20 years, always wanted to see it, never have, so let's do it. All right, just got a couple more miles to the Cantwell gas station and I am pretty low on diesel. Just enough to make it there. But I also have another tank. I bet the diesel's not cheap out here. Hey. So we're driving through Glitter Gulch right now. This place is a ghost town in the winter. Even the old gas station's all boarded up. We're coming up into Healy right now. Ooh, looks like this dude's getting pulled over. If you're ever in Healy, watch out. The state troopers are pretty bad around these parts. And I am shocked there is like no snow here. Hopefully there's enough snow where we can get out to the trail so we can check out the area a little bit where the bus is. And here we are in Healy. Go check out this Raven. We're gonna pull into the 49th state. There's a replica bus of the real one in here. You guys can see it right over there too. 49th state, by the way, our band, the Shoot Dangs, has played a couple shows there over the years, but super awesome venue, really good food, delicious beer. Let's check this bus out real quick. Briefly, here's where we're going. So here's Denali, tallest peak in North America. And just about 40 miles north of it, we're going to be coming in from Healy. Here's Stampede Road right there. We're somewhere in there. We didn't make it to 8 Mile Lake, I don't think. Magic Bus is out here. But anyway, yeah, we're going to go cruise out here and check this out. Should be pretty cool. Well, making some progress. We're right here and the bus is over near the Susquehanna River somewhere in this area. So let's see if we can make it. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. course, there's trails everywhere back here, and I don't want to get lost, so I made this little arrow out of wood, so when I get to this intersection here, I'll know to go right. Beautiful day out. The weather has just totally changed from what it was before. I think I'm about 10 miles in the trail right now. All right, I just crossed the Teklanika River, and it's a lot bigger than I thought. This is the river that kills all the people in the summer that they drown in, and where most people actually turn around and don't make it all the way to the bus. They stop on the other side of this river. But it's frozen over, but you never know. So I tried to hit it pretty fast back there. Anywho, I think we're close. I don't know where the trail is, but I'm gonna try to find it. Okay, so across the Teklanika River, and there's no more trail. It's not been broken yet, so I'm literally breaking trail right now. So let's continue with it. Is gone. It's kind of overflowy. Whew. Thin ice. It's a beaver dam. Let's get over here in the swamp. Unfortunately, I think I'm just running out of daylight, and the trail is not easy. I figured it'd be pretty simple to follow, but there's like little trapping, hunting trails all over the place. So, and there's a little bit of flagging, but the flagging kind of disappeared for the stampede. So anyhow, I'm gonna start working my way back so I don't get myself into too much trouble here. This trail is harder to find than I thought, so maybe I'll try again tomorrow. All right, I couldn't help myself. I went back across the river and followed the other trail down, found another place to cross the river. Now I'm across it and on this trail going to the bus area, so I think I'm getting really close. Woo! Big old moose. Dang, you guys see that? Well, for some crazy reason, I recorded half of this trip in slow motion on my new camera because I'm still learning. Anyway, I made it about 30 miles deep, and I could not find the site of the bus because number one, it's wintertime and everything's covered, and number two, the bus was gone, so it was just hard to see where it would have been. At this point, I was pretty deep into the wilderness, and the sun was setting, and I knew it was just time to turn around. I thought the trail would be real easy to follow, but I was shocked there was dozens of turns and different ways to go, and yeah, I just had to be really careful going back and really try to remember and retrace my steps. The trail just turns into like an ice waterfall, so here we go. of the biggest things that helped me find my way back home was just keeping the moon just behind me and to my right and using that to orient myself. I did actually take a wrong turn on the way back and went about 7 or 8 miles out of the way to a place where the river couldn't be crossed, and tried not to freak out, just kept my cool, turned around, and kept trying to find my way back home, and eventually I got there. Man, I was so grateful to be back at the truck. I didn't think I was going to get back for a little bit there, but made it out. So I split some kindling and got a fire going in the wood stove to get warmed up, and just proceeded to get some dinner going and relax for the evening and just think about whether or not I wanted to go make another attempt the next day. And finally, I got to end the night with some Northern Lights, which is a great cap for a pretty epic day out there. Good morning, everyone. So I woke up this morning and laid in bed a while and thought about it, and I don't think I'm going to go back out to try to find the bus area this morning. I came to the conclusion that I probably just drove right by it yesterday and didn't see it because the site's covered with snow and there's no bus there. So there's nothing obvious to let me know, like, hey, this is the spot. So anyway, I'm going to go off to another area and do some exploring there today. But the first thing I'm going to do is get some coffee going, and I'm stoked. I got this tea kettle for $6, I think at Fred Meyer or something. So no more spilling all my water with this freaking thing. So should be nice. I'm going to make some breakfast and get some coffee going. And hit the road, I think. My first time with this thing. It only folds one way. It's always a little scary, that first pour. Oh. What are we doing here? Use your brain. Dude. Ain't that nice? I am so stoked to not spill water with this freaking pot all over my cabin. But, yeah. I like it already. I was going to cook a big breakfast, but I'm not super hungry, so. Got my Vietnamese coffee maker. I've showed you guys this thing. Super sweet, makes super strong coffee, which I love. Here it goes. This is the first test pour of the new fancy tea kettle mug. Ah, that's hot. Woo! All right. Why would they do that? There should be plastic in this handle or something. I guess I just pour? I don't even know. Hey, come on. Yes, yes. It doesn't spill. Cool. I might have to wrap a piece of leather or something around the handle though, because that's some BS. I love this tea kettle. About to go kind of to a different direction in Denali Park today and take you guys down there. There's a really cool area I've always wanted to explore. It's always my favorite time of morning. See if the truck starts. I usually cycle these glow plugs 3 or 4 times and hopefully it starts. If not, I'll hook the generator up and warm the block up. Yeah, so right behind me is Stampede Road, which I probably showed you guys yesterday. I can't remember. A lot of the trails up here are built through the tundra, which means they need to be above the tundra so you're not driving through a swamp. So what happens, as you can see back here, the road's higher than the surrounding land just a little bit, and when the wind comes in really strong, it drifts the snow over the road, so the road gets all crazy. So a lot of the snow machine trails get off the road, such as this one, and go right beside it, so you're not going through all those crazy up and down drifts of snow. Welcome to my crazy mess. You guys know me. If anyone's going to show you what it's really like living in a truck occasionally, then here you go. That's what it looks like. That's right. And I feel like I'm a pretty organized person. Good thing I left the camera here. I left my stairs down. Dang it.
No good.
And it ain't the first time that's happened. Well, that's a wrap, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this and other random stuff. And hopefully we'll have a normal adventure next time. Or not, whatever, I'm down. Until next time, peace, y'all.